warrior women. How are you? It is your girl. I'm going to take these glasses off. It is your girl, Khadijah from KhadijahCoaches.com. And tonight I am coming to you all with the video on the net worth tracking sheet. And one of the reasons why I decided to do this video is I was able to get out of thousands of dollars worth of debt using this system. You guys always hear me talk about systems, right? Because systems really do work. And when I did the Warrior Women Wealth Transforming Your Money Blueprint teleseminar a couple of months ago, I talked to you about the different ways that successful people think differently. And I think I've pointed it out to you guys on more than one occasion, that successful people use systems, right? And I want us to get into the habit as much as possible, as much as we can, using different systems. So I took, and back in 2011, I took the Millionaire Mind Intensive, it's a workshop given by, a seminar given by T. Harv Eker, who wrote the book, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And while we're on the subject, Millionaire Mind Intensive is coming up. Right? It's a free seminar, so there's no excuse not to go. There's a free seminar he does all throughout the year. It is coming to Baltimore, Maryland, February 27th through March 1st. So it's going to be that Friday, that Saturday, and that Sunday. And I want to encourage all of you who will be in that area to please go sign up. I'm going to leave the link down below in the description box on the YouTube channel. If you are watching this in the Warrior Women Wealth group, the description, let me see. You can also go to Khadijah Coaches on Facebook, and I will be sharing the link on how to sign up. And if you're not going to be in the Baltimore area, please look up and see if this seminar is coming to your area. I do know it's coming to Atlanta sometime this year. I believe it's coming to Los Angeles sometime this year. There's about, I would say about 6 or 7 different cities that he's coming to this year. It's probably more, but off the top of my head, I know for a fact there's about 6 or 7 different cities that he's coming to. But that is where I learned about the net worth tracking sheet. And let me just tell you a little story give you a little bit about my story. About a year ago, I moved from Maryland to North Carolina. And when I moved, I had thousands of dollars in debt. And I wasn't opening any of my bills. You should have seen the box of bills that I had when I moved in here, or when I moved here. And I was in denial about it. I was in denial about my debt and where I was, and I didn't want to face it. I knew I needed to do something different. Part of me knowing that I needed to do something different was, packing up and moving to another state and really just changing my whole life all the way around, spiritually, mentally, physically, all of that. And I'm proud to say now that I have successfully lost 47 pounds. I am successfully homeschooling my 2 youngest children. I have a wonderful coaching practice, a coaching business. I have gotten out of, I would say, close to $5,000 worth of debt. And that was just me consciously making the choice, knowing that things had to change in my life. And I had done this before. I had gotten out of debt before. I've gotten my credit score up before. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about my story and why that happened in an upcoming teleseminar with one of our very own warrior women who's in the group, Latanya Hayward. She has a teleseminar coming up called The Fat Lady Has Already Sang, and we'll be doing that teleseminar in March, the end of March, beginning of April, so please look out for that. We're going to be heavily promoting that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and why this happened, why my finances took a nosedive, right? So, anyway, part of the reason why I was able to get out of close to $5,000 worth of debt was because I used this net worth tracking sheet. And I'm going to insert in this video, I'm going to go over it and talk about all of the different areas of what you put in the, when you're doing the actual net worth tracking sheet. There's entries that you put in for your assets and then for your liabilities. And then what you do is you subtract your assets from your liabilities, and that gives you your net worth. Now, most people will be in the negative. If you have student loans or any kind of, home ownership or anything like that, you're going to 9 times out of 10 be in the negative. But let me tell you what it does. When you really start practicing this habit, and it's a habit, it's every 30 days, you're sitting down and you're looking at where you're at, how much you have, how much you owe. It really gets you in the mode of, okay, I know how much credit card debt I have. I know how much retail debt I have. I know how much student loan debt I have. Like, those things are in the forefront of your mind. And when you have debt like that, just in your face like that, it causes you to think differently. You start to think differently about what you are really doing with your money. It makes you focus. It makes you focus a whole lot more. And you're doing it every 30 days. And I read somewhere about statistics on wealthy people. They monitor and look at their money several times a day, right? They don't wait until a paycheck comes in every Friday or a tax return comes back. They are consciously looking at their income, and they're consciously managing their assets and debts, right? So I'll tell you about what has happened for me with using the net worth tracking sheet. I had a lot of debt and still have a lot of debt on my sheet. But what it made me do is it made me say, okay, how can I tackle this? How do I go about consciously tackling so that my number can start to come down, right? So that I can start to at least get to zero, a zero net worth tracking. Because the other thing too is that successful and wealthy people don't talk about salary. Like, they don't have conversations about how much they're making in a job. They talk about what their net worth is and what they have investments in. When they go to the country club, or when they go to play tennis with each other, or go run, or go sailing on a yacht, or you know, some kind of activity like that, they are not talking about how they got a 1% raise, or they're not talking about how they got a bonus on their jobs, because 9 times out of 10 they own a company, and what they're talking about is what their net worth is, how much money they have in stocks, and how the stock market is playing, how much money they have in precious metals, if they own gold or silver or palladium or diamonds or some kind of precious metal, and what the market is doing, in that arena. Or if they own real estate, of course, they're talking about their next acquisition, what they're getting ready to buy next, or what they just cashed out, possibly. These are some of the conversations that they're having. And you guys, as warrior women, I want you to get to that level. I want you to be at that level where you're having conversations about how much stock you own in Alibaba, or how much stock or how much precious metals you own, how much silver you have, or how much real estate you have, and what your net worth is, not about you got a raise at your job. Nothing wrong with that. Please, 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 please do not misunderstand what I'm saying. I feel like I always have to give that disclaimer that I'm not knocking jobs. I am not knocking, earned income at all. I'm not knocking a paycheck. I'm talking about elevating your mind and elevating your conversation to start to think long term and think about what you are going to be leaving for your children. This is about our children. This is about us, right? But it's also, more importantly, I feel, about our children and about the legacy that we leave for them, right? And we're not going to leave a legacy for our children if we are still doing the same things that maybe perhaps our parents did and their parents did. It's not going to happen. And I really want to get that. I'm very clear about that. I feel very strongly about that. I feel very passionately about that. So I'm going to end the video right here and right now. I just wanted to come on and again talk to you guys about the net worth tracking sheet and how important it is. And what I'm going to do, of course, is insert exactly how you use the net worth tracking sheet and where everything goes, and how to add up stuff and how to subtract and all of that stuff. Anyway, I love you immensely. I want you to have a blessed week, a prosperous week, and I will talk to you
or this morning, or whenever you are seeing this video. Today, I'm coming to you to talk to you about the net worth tracking sheet. Now, if you don't know what the net worth tracking sheet is, I'm going to explain it to you. Basically, what it is it's a way to determine what your net worth is. And as you can see from the screen on the left hand side here at the top, it says assets. Assets means what you own. And then there's a bunch of categories here that you can fill in. So there's cash and bank accounts, if you have bonds, term deposits or investment certificates, if anyone owes you any money. There's even a section for other marketable assets, which would be mutual funds, stocks, real estate investments, business interest, and then of course another section for other long-term assets, which would be cash value of a life insurance. And I hope you all have life insurance, whether it's a term or whole policy. You definitely need to have something in place. If you're part of a pension plan or profit sharing, 401k, things like that, You would list that here in this section. Offshore actually would be like any kind of offshore accounts, or like if for instance you have a silver account and it's stored out of the country, maybe in Switzerland or something like that, you could list that here. And then personal assets, you know, your home, recreational property like an RV or something like that. If you have any cars and you own them free and clear, I would list it here only if you own it outright free and clear. Again, we have recreational equipment, household furnishings and equipment, you know, computers and things like that could go here. And then your collectibles, your art, your stamps, coins, jewelry, they can go in this section. And then of course there's another other. And then you would total up all of your assets. Now we're going to go down to the liabilities. Liabilities, quite frankly, quite simply, is what you owe. Now, if you have any charge accounts, credit cards. Now, the difference between charge accounts and credit cards is, say, like a department store card. That would be considered a charge account, or like Fingerhut or something along that lines. And then a credit card, of course, would be like your MasterCard, your Visa, distributed by whatever bank. If you have any lines of credit from your bank accounts, or, you know, overdraft protection and whatever the amount is that the bank has allotted you, you would put it here. And whatever you owe on that line of credit, or with the overdraft protection. And then any kind of car loans, student loans, you could put here. Unpaid bills. Now, when I fill it out, I put like hospital, any income tax or property tax or state taxes. You could put that here. And then here they have your which is very interesting, they have charitable pledges, and then they also have family obligations. Now, what I used to put here is I would put like my children's college tuition. I would add that in here. And if you own a home and you have a mortgage on your home, you would list your loans here, and you would total up your total liabilities here. Now, of course, here at the end, you would do your net worth, which is total assets minus total liabilities. Now, I don't want you to get scared, because 9 times out of 10, especially for women, this amount right here is going to be in the negative. But let me tell you the beauty of what happens when you do this faithfully. Now, here at the top, it has the different dates, and they have the start date here, and then 30 days later you do another one, 60 days later you do another one, 90 days you do another one, right? The beauty of this is, as you start to list all of your assets and all of your liabilities, something happens in your mind where you start paying more attention to getting that number down, right? Because a lot of times it's going to, mine is still very, very high, a negative number, but it has come down considerably, because I do this net worth tracking sheet every 30 days when my income comes in. And actually what I do is I turn it over, which I'm going to show you later on in the video how I turn it over, and I list all of my liabilities on the back. And it's amazing what happens when you see the amounts go down. And I'm going to be doing a free class very, very soon on how to get out of debt using some tools. And this is one of the tools that I've used to get out of over $5,000 worth of debt. So anyway, I just wanted to share this quick video with you all. I hope it has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, please, please, please post it in our Facebook group. And I will talk with you all soon. Thank you.